So I'd like to use the opportunity to just make a couple of comments, in particular about the last paper. And they're non-affiliated in the sense that I guess I'm not sort of espousing an official Department of Homeland Security perspective. This is my own based on working with two different agencies. The first thing is I'm very pleased to see a broader definition of security. I think that really needs to happen. I think it's critical for a group like SCERP to take that on, to connect the dots at a broader level. Not only the intersection of border and environment, but economy, immigration, all kinds of other things. We need to be thinking that way. At the same time, we have this business of people working for agencies today and tomorrow with missions, with jobs they need to do. And so how do we continue at the same time to sort of work together, given where we are right now? Another point that the paper raises is, and I think it draws on a Good Neighbor Board recommendation, the need for more interagency collaboration. And that's been a theme in a number of the board's reports, and I certainly would support that. I think I also would posit that there's a lot more going on than people sometimes realize, and I think that's a problem. In the case of Border Patrol, for example, it's been a real education for me to be part of Border Patrol and learn about its environmental program in more depth. Also learn and understand a little bit more about the mission and why our agents do what they do as public servants. I'm going to give you 3 examples. One of the things I've learned is that during fence construction, despite the waiver, the Border Patrol did carry out quite a lot of environmental and cultural stewardship, and Wayne can talk to that in more detail over lunch or whatever if you all want to talk with him a bit about that. The other thing is there's a lot of good stuff going on right now. I'm working with counterparts at the Department of Interior and Forest Service. We're developing a national environmental and cultural stewardship training module that will be made available to all our agents nationwide. We have some training right now. It tends to be location specific. This will be broad and national. Part of the deal here is we say to Forest Service, what do you think needs to be in this? Interior, what do you think needs to be in this? We're going to sit down and develop this together. For me, this is good news. The other thing is moving forward. Some of you have heard about these projects. Bob Northup is here from the Department of Interior, and he's been working with us on a mitigation project, which is getting underway, and he'll be talking more about that at the Good Neighbor meeting in a couple of days. The other thing we're working on is USGS, a monitoring project, and Laura is here. Laura Norman is working with that. In fact, she and Wayne are working on that together, monitoring water ecosystems as we move forward. So for me, I think a critical tool that we need to move towards sustainability in this particular issue is education, informed dialogue. And I think we can all admit that far too often for this issue, we end up with somewhat of an adversarial stance. I don't think it's very helpful for sound science. I don't think it's very helpful for informed policy making. And so the extent to which we can all educate ourselves and each other in all directions, I think is going to be to the benefit of moving forward on this. I think that, a lot of us in the government, no matter where we are trying to do the right thing. We see ourselves as public servants. And so I think it's just useful to bear that in mind as a foundation when we sit down and talk about these things. That's it. I just want to finish by putting in a plug for a couple of educational tools that Eric mentioned earlier. The website, Our Border, and that's actually, I'm curious, how many of you are familiar with that or knew about that before coming up today? So it needs publicity. It's something that was, I'm going to put papers over here. It was started by Secretary Napolitano at DHS. It's a civic networking site. Arizona State University is a member. It has a section on the site. Let's see. University of Texas, Brownsville. So there's an opportunity for people to join. You can post videos. Sierra Club has a video on this site. The idea is let's get our stuff up there. Let's talk. There's a list of upcoming events. So I would encourage all of you to think about joining as members, or even setting up. Somebody mentioned earlier, maybe setting up a water energy group on the site. The address is www.ourborder.ning over there. The other thing I want to mention is one of the things I've worked on since I joined. Some of you know at one point when I was working with the Good Neighbor Board, I had a sort of newsletter. I like newsletters. I think they're a good way for people to learn. So we've started one up on it's called the Tracker. It's about the Border Patrol's Public Lands Liaison Agent Program. It talks about some of the collaboration that's going on across agencies, and comes out twice a year. We don't have it, we're sort of working through the process to make it sort of publicly available.